Okay, here come the all-important coaching staff, including this legend, Ashley Cole. Followed by Andy Myers. Please welcome the players, starting with this man, the legend Thiago Silva. Please welcome your manager, the one and only Frank Lampard. Please welcome Edouard Mendy, followed by Ethan Wadey.
How are you, sir? God love you.
Here comes Noni Madueke, Hakim Ziyech, Mateo Kovacic, Paul Gallagher.
God love you.
Here comes the skipper, Cesar Azpilicueta. Followed by Mikhailo Mudryk. Please welcome Kerr and Havertz. Pulisic.
How are you, sir? God love you.
And Wesley Fofana.
Quick scribble, sir? No?
Just in a quick head count to make sure we've not lost anybody.
Yes, but anywhere. God loves you.
Hello and welcome to Matchday Live, final matchday of the Premier League season. Chelsea versus Newcastle United here at the Stamford Bridge, here in the glorious sunshine. I'm delighted to say that I'm with Soraya. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Yeah, I'm delighted, thank you. Lovely to be here. It's lovely to feel it in the sunshine today. Lovely to have your positive energy as well. You've come in with a big burst of positive energy because we're going to start by talking about the women's team yesterday, right? How good was that? How good was it to sign off in the sunshine in Reading with another trophy?
I think the women's team are spectacular. They know exactly what it means to be Chelsea, to be a blue. I mean, to win 4 league titles in a row. That comes down to endurance, to confidence, to talent, and Emma Hayes leads the charge, as we all know. So to win 3 FA Cups in a row and to win 4 league titles in a row, what more can we want for my ladies? I'm super, super proud of them.
Absolutely. It was an emotional day as well, wasn't it? Emma Hayes speaking so brilliantly after the game, as she always does. But Magda Eriksson as well, Pernille Harder, saying goodbye to 2 absolute giants of this football club. You know, we talk about Pernille Harder when she came to Chelsea as one of the best players in Europe. All the big moments you think of that Pernille's been involved in. And she's not had it her own way as well with injuries. It's been really difficult for her. But those big moments when you want a big player to step up, she's done that time and time again. And Magda Eriksson, just one of the classiest captains this football club's ever seen.
I think it was a great way for them to sign off their relationship and sort of their career with the Blues. I'm so happy they got to lift the league title. I'm so happy that they got to experience the atmosphere at Wembley and see the growth, to be honest, in the women's game during their career at Chelsea. I think the WSL has more to do with the Women's World Cup coming up as well this summer, but they've been fantastic ambassadors of the club and fantastic ambassadors of women's football as a whole.
Fantastically put, fantastically put. Just talk us through your role at the club as well, because we've seen you a number of times this season. It's lovely to have you back, and also I want you to lead with the fact that not only why you're here today, but also why you should keep coming back, because you've got a great record when you've seen Chelsea this season. Let
me start. I've only seen Chelsea lose once live. Once. So let's not make today twice. And the last time I was here, we drew to Everton 2-2. So I'm hoping I bring a good luck charm alongside the sun. So my role within the club, I'm sort of a media assistant. I've come in through a programme alongside BComs in Chelsea, where they're trying to diversify and bring more black talent on screen. We're the pride of London, so we want to show that. It's been a great experience. I've been able to do pitch side, meet fantastically talented people like yourself, interview players, and really move around and see how the club works from a media perspective on the inside. It's been a great experience, and I think it's really important that we have people that not only look like the players, but look like the fans that support the Blues all across the world, representing them on camera.
You're absolutely right, and also Joseph, who's not with us at the moment, but Joseph has done a massive part as well. Both of you have been absolutely fantastic this season. You've been fantastic ambassadors for the football club, and you are absolute superstars, and we're so lucky to have you as part of this football club. Let's talk about next season, then. We've been asking everybody, we've been out and about before the game as well, speaking to fans about a player they're most looking forward to seeing next season. A little bit of positivity to sprinkle on the end of this season. Who are you looking forward to seeing next season?
I'll give you two.
Okay.
One that hasn't played for us yet, Gusto. I think we've got a world-class right-back in Reece James, one of our own, and I think it's fantastic to have that competition there. We have a French talent coming through who's a proven, fast, effective right-back, and I think French talent is very underrated. So I'm happy for them to join the whole gang of French that we have up in Chelsea already. And my second choice would be Wesley Fofana. I think he's an excellent centre-back. I think he's young, but he's got a lot of Premier League experience. He's adapted. He's great, calm and composed on the ball. I think because he's young, people will highlight a lot of the inexperience maybe that we've seen, but I think as the seasons progress, he'll become a legend of this club 100%. I'm really looking forward to see how our defensive record next season, actually. It's
exciting, isn't it? And let me ask you about that, actually, because you mentioned our defensive record, but Chelsea are in quite a unique situation at the moment. There's a lot of younger players. You know, very rarely at a club of this size do you get such a wealth of younger talent that come through at the same time. New additions, like you mentioned, Malo Gusto, Wesley Fofana still first season, Benoit Badiashile, Levi Colwill, obviously he's had a fantastic season at Brighton, Enzo Fernandez, you go up through the pitch, Mikhailo Mudryk, etc.
Yeah.
How good is it, do you think, to be a part of that squad together, where they're all similar ages, they're all sort of similarly new to the Premier League? Wesley's an exception, of course, but they've all kind of learning new experiences together. How important is that?
I think it's very important in any part of life. I think in football, people forget the mentality that it comes to come and perform and gel as a team. A lot of these young men are from different countries, have not been in London before, don't speak English and are learning English. So for them to be able to come through with some seasoned veterans of the club and learn and gel together, I think it's pivotal to our success in the future. I think obviously young players under 25, they're going to be the future of this club and the future legends that the fans need to connect to. So we need to see them play more. We need to see them gel together. We need some more content. We need to see their personalities, and I'm really excited to see them really work together this pre-season.
Fantastically put. Fantastically put. That's the sort of motivational speech that we needed before
Put
today
me in the
as
locker
well.
room.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. All right, one final thing as well. Wherever you're watching today, we want you involved in the show with the Trivago Wherever You Go wall. So wherever you're watching, anywhere in the world, send us your message, send us your selfies, send us your little tweets. Let us know where you're watching it, how you're watching it, who you're watching it with, using the hashtag Wherever You Go. So much more build-up coming today in the sunshine here at Stamford Bridge for the final time this season. Chelsea versus Newcastle on Matchday Live.
We have just seen the players arrive at Stamford Bridge. It's a lovely day for it, Sam. Last day of the season, last game. It's been a long season.
Yeah, it has.
But we're going to miss it. We're always going to miss it when the season's over.
Definitely, and I think by the vibe today, you can tell that everyone's out here for the last good hurrah. You know, I'm wearing short sleeve. I don't normally wear short sleeves.
I know you. Well, look at the day. It's lovely.
Lovely weather. But yeah, man, it's been a long season. I feel like having the World Cup in the middle of the season as well, like just elongated the season even further. But yeah, I think there's things that we can look back at the season, not just the men's team, but the women's team, the under-14s, the academy.
Both won the league.
It's been incredible in that aspect. So, you know, there's some things to be joyful of.
Let's look ahead to, you know, what will be. We know we've had a major transitional period, change of ownership, change of management, change of everything, basically. Yeah. Next season, we should be a lot more stable.
Yeah.
Expecting good things. You know, once we get a good pre-season under our belt, I'm sure we'll be back to the normal Chelsea that people are used to, winning titles, winning trophies, winning games.
Yeah, and that's the history of the club. I feel like we're so used to our club being at that level all the time.
Yeah.
So this season has been a little bit of an anomaly, and I think some of the fans, the thing I've actually liked about this season, that even in the times where we've lost games, we've drawn games that we didn't want to lose, we haven't been scoring, there's still been like optimism.
I like that.
Do you know what I mean? There's still been, and even on this show, we've been very
optimistic. We've had to be optimistic as much as we can. You know, there's always a silver lining, even when we are maybe not picking up all the points that we want to be picking up. Let's look over the season highlights. Is there a particular goal?
I would say the Enzo assist to João.
That's the one that came to my mind as well. We haven't scored too many goals this season.
That was the time when I was like, oh, this could make sense. And it also gets you excited for next season.
Yeah.
You know, I think there was a point where we realised, okay, this season is definitely that transitional, you know, season that we would have expected, you know, change of manager, change of ownership. And I think with all of that in sight, looking forward with all these players, their age as well, I'm excited. I'm excited for what is to come for Chelsea.
Favourite game?
AC Milan, second leg.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
I feel like that run was quite, the wind is starting.
Yeah, no, the wind is picking up here.
But that game was really exciting, and I think at that point we needed something to hang on to, and we got that game from Chelsea. Well,
one positive, if we're going to make a silver lining, is that I suppose we don't have the Champions League, which isn't great, but we don't have it, which means we've got more time to prepare for each game. Week to week, we get to really focus on our opponents, and sometimes, you know, that makes all the difference.
Yeah, and I think it's needed. You know, I think the pressure of the Champions League is not easy. Like some clubs, we've won it twice.
We're doing everything here to make
we've got the grace of winning it twice. You know what I mean? I think having the young players as well, they know that they're fighting for something. They're having that in mind as well, and you want that sometimes. There's going to be a new manager. There's going to be some players. We might see new players in the summer as well. But even the players that we've got from January, for example, they're going to be looking to the future and think, yeah, we've got something to play for.
Give me your player of the season and one to watch for next season.
Thiago Silva, player of the season. That one's easy. He's a legend. Every time he touches the football, I just get excited.
He's perfect.
He's a perfect player. One to watch, Enzo, man. I love him.
Yeah. He's slotted in excellently, hasn't he? I think he's played almost every game.
Yeah. Leadership qualities.
Leadership. Does quite a lot of miles as well. He works hard. Graceful on the ball. My one to watch next season is going to be Mudryk.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come good. I really do. All the pace. I think he's coming with a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure.
I mean, look, we're one of the biggest clubs in the world. There is no such thing as having no pressure here, but you want to be able to have a good pre-season and then go for it. And I feel like we'll get the best out of him next season.
Yeah, definitely. But we definitely have to shout out the women's team, especially after winning on the last day. That was amazing. I don't think they're going to be here today because, you know, the celebrations.
Well, the under-14s are here. They can't party too hard, can they?
That's going to be exciting.
Let's have a look at today's game. Newcastle. It is a tough fixture, you know. Newcastle have never been an easy team for us to beat. Even over the years when they haven't been so strong. We've struggled against them. They seem to be a bit of a bogey team for us. What do you expect from today?
I think you just want to see the team give their all. You know what I mean? The last game at Stamford Bridge, you want everyone to feel that vibe. Obviously, it hasn't been a great season, but at the same time, if we win today, it will be amazing for just the vibe. You know, the sun's out. The players are going to be raring to, you know, go on their holidays, all of that
Pressure's
stuff.
off as well.
Exactly.
I mean, I think both teams pretty much have nothing to play for.
Exactly.
It's just not necessarily an exhibition match, but it's a game where you get to express yourself, feel free, you know, not really have, you know, any shackles on you. You just get to be what you want to be. Who do you think is the player to look out for today?
I think Enzo and João Felix, I love their partnership, man. I like the way they connect on the pitch. I like the way that they're always looking for each other as well, because they're just always active. So hoping to see something from that partnership today.
Let's have a look at next season very quickly. What would be, obviously we're Chelsea, we want to win, yeah, but what is a realistic goal in your mind? What do you want to achieve next season?
I think a really big push in the cups that we're in, and playing in the Champions League for the season after. We have to be in that
Top
conversation.
4.
Yeah, we have to be in that
I'm
conversation.
greedy. I want to win stuff. I don't want to work back towards winning stuff. I just want to win stuff. So I want the Premier League
the title.
next season. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we've done it before. Sometimes it's very much Chelsea to have an off-season and then an on-season. So let's hope that's what happens next season. But for now, let's throw to Olivia, who's with Joe Cole in America.
We are coming live to you at Stamford Bridge from downtown LA. We're in the Grammy Museum. We're at the rooftop of the Grammy Museum. It's a very, very cool location. And Joe, we're on another stop of the famous CFC World Tour. You will, of course, have seen myself and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank out in India, while the next stop is here in LA. And this man has been very busy since he's got here. So Joe, just tell everyone watching, what have you been up to?
Well, we had the fantastic game on Venice Beach where I tore my groin,
Tourist groin, which is hilarious. My favourite part.
Yeah, which you thoroughly enjoyed. But it was fantastic. What wonderful like grassroots football on such a scenic place. You know, you had the skateboarding going on, the Muscle Beach, and then this Venice Beach FC do a fantastic job getting the local kids, getting them playing soccer, as they call it out here. That was fantastic. We had the foundation thing today. The girls done great, and it was so good to watch all them young girls competing.
And all of them wanted to be, they all want to be professional soccer players, don't they?
They do, and they were so, it's just great to see the smiles on the faces.
A couple of really good ones as well,
Yeah, there was some real talent there, and like I said, every time I come back here, soccer in America's growing. More engagement, you see more fans, more Chelsea shirts, and other teams as well, and they just get it, you know. And it's like, it's just every time you come back here, it's growing and it's growing. It's fantastic.
Yeah. We'll talk about the game then. One final game of this season. Hasn't gone the way we'd hoped, but how important is it that Chelsea finish this season on a high?
It's really important. It's really important, Liv. I mean, you see so often teams that tail off at the end of last season, although there's an off-season and the new season starts, players come in, there's something in the energy where if you lose a game, you continue to lose a game. I think the fans have been outstanding for Chelsea this year, because let's be honest, the last 20 years, they're not used to this, how the season is difficult as this. So they stuck by him. So I think it's a very, very easy team talk for Frank tomorrow. It's not about the players. It's not about their future. You know, they'll all go off and there'll be come-ins and go-ins. What it's about is them playing for pride, playing for the shirt and putting on a performance for the punters who turn up every week. And I think I think you'll see players turn up tomorrow, and you'll see the characters, who wants to be there next year, who wants to pull a Chelsea shirt on come August.
And you mentioned some of those players. It is actually a really exciting future. You think of all the young talent that we've got in this squad. Looking forward, it's there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there. I mean, we've produced so many great young players the last 5-6 years. You know, and there's still more coming through. We've signed players. You know, Chukwuemeka's come in. You know, he's an outstanding young player. So we're producing them and we're bringing them in. The youngest team we've ever played against Manchester United in the Premier League. That's another positive. I think it's one of them moments. Let's hope the sun's shining on Sunday at Stamford Bridge, and let's just hope we get a performance from the team. And I really think we will.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Chelsea are back.
Yeah.
In the summer on a US tour. You were here in July.
Yeah.
What was that like? Was it unbelievable?
It was great. It was great. Chicago's a great city. Los Angeles, we came here a lot for pre-season, and I know me and all the team loved it here. You know, the weather's usually warmer than this, but we had good training facilities. The people are welcome, and it's great to share our experiences with the fans. And like I said, Liv, every year there's more and more excited to see the players and the Premier League's growing.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Me and Joe are going to be watching the Chelsea-Newcastle game with hundreds of Chelsea fans right here on this rooftop. We hope everyone at Stamford Bridge has a great day, and hopefully, actually, not hopefully, we are definitely going to end this season with a win.
Yeah, thanks to Liv and to Joe as well. How nice does it look out there as well? They're a tougher gigs to get,
a bit jealous.
That being said, it's lovely weather here on the Stamford Bridge gantry. A bit hot, as you can probably tell by our faces, but there is an air of optimism around Stamford Bridge. I know, Zach, that things haven't gone as planned for Chelsea this season, but just walking in, there's a lot of excitement around the possibilities for the summer.
100%. It's all about the future. It's all about next season now. Look, I think enough has been spoken about this year and this season. It's been poor. We all know that. I think a lot of fans also agree. However, when you look at this Chelsea side, it is so young. There are guys here that could have such a long future. The contracts they sign could take them well into their 30s, and they're only just in their early 20s now. I mean, you look at the likes of Mudryk, a guy that was signed for a lot of money, but somebody that has world class potential. You got the likes of Reece James coming back when he's going to be fully fit. There is a lot of excitement. You've also got signings that obviously we made and they're not yet joined up with the squad. They'll join back as well come the summer. You look at Levi Colwill at Brighton, how great he's had a campaign when he comes back from loan. There's a lot of things to be excited about, and hopefully 3 points today will also add to that.
It's all part of the journey, isn't it? All part of the project, and the incoming manager, whoever that may be. We've seen lots of reports linking a particular person with the job. Not confirmed yet, but whoever that person is coming in has got the raw materials here to work with.
Oh, 100%. I think if you were an incoming manager and you were looking at the squad that Chelsea have right now, you wouldn't be complaining. That's for sure. You've got guys who are either the best in their position already. We've talked about Reece James and how he signed that long-term contract. He's arguably one of the best fullbacks in the world. You've got guys like Wesley Fofana, who was bought for a lot of money, but another player that in the future could be one of the best in his position. And then up top, you've got somebody like Kai Havertz, who's already won a Champions League. I don't think you look at this squad and be complaining too much. If anything, you might be quite excited to get your hand on it and make it your own, because that's what it needs right now. It needs somebody to get their hands around it and make it theirs.
So what about today then, Zach? Because obviously there's one more game to go until that summer where we can think about potential rebuild, a new project, a blank canvas, if you will. Today is all about restoring the faith of the fans, putting in that performance to make sure that we do end the season on a high.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think Joe mentioned it there. Today, it's not really about where you finish in the league table. It's not about, obviously, top four, whatever it might be. It's about getting a deserved clap off of the field after 90 minutes. It's about playing for that badge. It's about trying to get 3 points to take that momentum out of the end of the season and into next season and onto their holidays.
We will be bringing you team news very shortly, just 2 or so minutes away from that. There's also going to be full live coverage as well of the lap of appreciation after the game. Who is it that's stood out for you this season as perhaps a breakthrough talent?
A breakthrough talent is an interesting one. I think, look, Lewis Hall was somebody who kind of came through last year, but this season, especially towards the end of the season, obviously with what's happened with Cucurella and Chilwell, we've seen him be able to kind of take that left-back spot and showcase his abilities. And look, that's not easy in this kind of campaign. I mean, maybe it's even harder than when the squad's playing really, really well. When you're playing in a team which haven't that kind of need to be getting wins and get 3 points, you're going to be looked at extra hard, and I think he's done very, very well. Chukwuemeka is another player who we've seen have minutes here and there throughout the entire season, and every single time looks very good.
I was going to ask about him as well, because obviously Frank was very keen to keep him around the club to get to learn the Chelsea culture more than anything. How beneficial will that be for him next season?
Huge, really, really huge. I think just understanding like how things are done on a match day, what it's like playing in front of this huge crowd of 40 plus thousand people, stuff like that, just getting the fundamentals now for next season when he could become even more of a bigger player in the side, I think are massive, and to have like the faith possibly of playing in the games like he has already, like we saw earlier this week, I think are really, really big and show that for himself he has a huge future here.
Great person to learn from as well in the form of Frank Lampard. A word on him, because he's come in, he's taken the reins, he's stepped up when maybe other people wouldn't have done, and he's, endeared himself to this crowd once more for taking this on.
Yeah, it was not easy. This season's not been easy for anybody in charge, and obviously when Frank came in, he's had a lot to deal with, and he said it in many press conferences, no matter what happens, no matter where Chelsea are, he'll always be there to help, and I think that's something that he's tried his very best to do.
Well, enough from us for now, because we're going to be looking directly at the Chelsea team for today, and there are 3 changes in this side that we're going to see here. So the first one coming at centre-back. By the looks of things, Thiago Silva coming back in, Wesley Fofana dropping to the bench. Then in midfield, Ruben Loftus-Cheek is preferred to Carney Chukwuemeka, who again is among the substitutes. And then up front, a welcome return, Zach, for Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Look, it's a game which Chelsea, as we mentioned earlier, want to be trying to get 3 points from here. Seeing Thiago Silva back in the side is always a huge plus. I think if we're talking about people who have maybe been player of the season, I think it probably is Thiago Silva. He's a guy who at 38 years old looks like he's 29 and continues to be one of the best centre-backs week in, week out.
He sets the tone, doesn't he, for everyone else. And if you're Chalobah playing alongside him, I mean, is there a better education in the game than playing alongside Thiago Silva?
He is the modern centre-back. He was the original modern centre-back when he was playing in Italy, and then obviously spent a lot of time in France as well. He's somebody who at times I sit there and I wish he was only 29 years old and we could have a whole other decade with him in this side. And not just that as well, the connection he's kind of brought to the fans here, how he's connected with every single buddy at Stamford Bridge and everybody at home as well. He's always talking about how he didn't expect to be this loved so quickly and to love Stamford Bridge and Chelsea so quickly as well. And obviously it helps when you win a Champions League, I'm sure. But the connection he's been able to grow here and the performances he has on the pitch time and time again is a big reason for it.
Let's take a look then at 3 takeaways from this season. We've been working hard on this, haven't we, Zach? Not to be too critical, but mainly positive for the future and the things that we need to change. So, number 1, we still need to find that 20-goal-a-season striker, don't we?
Yes, we do. And you know what? I feel really sorry for the likes of Armando Broja this year. He was somebody who I think this campaign would have featured a lot up front. I think sometimes people forget that we've got him obviously on the books. He signed that contract as well. And just when it kind of felt like he might get that time available, he got that season-ending injury, unfortunately. And hopefully he'll be back for the new season. He's somebody that could be that guy. Then obviously there's the possibility of looking towards the transfer market and trying to get somebody in like that. Look, if you look at the Premier League and what's happened this season, when you're seeing somebody like Erling Haaland go and do what he's done, it showcases why you need a guy who is going to be a consistent goal scorer. And unfortunately this season that's just not something that we've managed.
Moving on then, time for some stability as well. So still more questions than answers with some areas of the squad at the moment. You've mentioned a few times we've got a world-leading right-back in the form of Reece James, but plenty of other positions up for grabs there. Yeah,
very, very true. I think as much as the season might end today, I think there's still a lot of work that will be happening behind the scenes for the next couple of months about players and certain positions and outgoings and incomings. And it will be creating that stability. And I'm sure whatever manager comes in as well will want that stability as well. He'll want this group of players that he can work with, that he can shape with his own way, with his own tactics, and have full belief in them. And that will have to be done over the next couple of months. And that will take time. We have to be patient too, and also we'll see the beginnings of it in pre-season.
Something that Pat Nevin always tends to hammer home whenever I'm working on commentary with him, about having that established spine, a goalkeeper, a Petr Cech, a John Terry, a Frank Lampard, a Didier Drogba, right the way through the team. OK, there will be players who drop in and out and who are given their chances, but on the whole, you want that established spine. You want them to know exactly how each other are moving around the pitch.
Yeah, 100%. And even more recent, you would have had the likes of, say, a David Luiz and an N'Golo Kanté and a Diego Costa. There's always been that spine, and for sure, recently, that's kind of not happened. But a lot of that's been down to injuries as well. Chelsea have been really unfortunate this season with injuries for a lot of their key players at really tough times throughout their season. And I think, yeah, if that's something that we can sort out next season and kind of go into having a belief of we know what the starting 11 is going to be, we have full faith in them, and also just consistency. I think if you're a player and you're playing and you know you're playing and you also are playing 90 minutes every single week, and that's easier to do. I think next season as well, with it looking like there's no European football, that might be a bit of a helping hand when you are only playing 1 game a week rather than at times 3.
One of the things that Frank has emphasised in each of his spells in charge here has been the youth players. He's brought through a number, Mason Mount, obviously, from his first spell. Thursday evening, that was the youngest Premier League side Chelsea have ever fielded. These players are ready to go, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate with the end result in that Manchester United game, because I think at half-time it was that kind of the way it's been this season of Chelsea are really unlucky not to have scored tonight or to have got a goal in that first half. They performed really, really well. And it is about that. I think right now, when you look at some of the sides, you look at Arsenal this season, one of the youngest sides in the Premier League, and what they've gone on to do. There's that famous saying, right, of you can't win anything with kids, and that was proven to be wrong. And I think if you give them the faith, if you show that you believe in them, and Frank has done that, then they can repay you hugely. I think we mentioned Chukwuemeka earlier, we mentioned Lewis Hall. There are others as well in the academy that have been named on the bench today. It wouldn't shock me if, we might see a few of their faces.
I touched on it right at the start, didn't I, about it being the journey, about the project. If these young players are given the opportunity to develop together, how exciting could that be?
Oh, hugely. I think it's just little things where you'll see like where they were playing together in the academy, and now it might be in the Premier League and on Stamford Bridge. There are these elements where you're able to. They know how each other work incredibly well, and if you can develop that over years as well, that's how some of the best teams we've ever seen play football. You look at Barcelona when Pep Guardiola was there, Xavi, Messi, Iniesta, these are guys that played football with each other for a long time now. I compared them to some of the best footballers ever. However, these little these things where they play consistently together can have a huge impact.
Understanding the connections,
exactly.
And that sort of
chemistry.
The chemistry, the flow on the pitch, what each other like to do with the ball. We've perhaps not seen enough of that this season. There is still 90 minutes to play though, and Zach and I are going to be back to take you through all of the action as it happens. But for now, let's head back down pitch side with Joe.
Cheers, boys. Thank you very much to brilliant Max and Zach up in the gantry. We'll be back up with them a little bit later on before kick-off. Chelsea versus Newcastle in the sunshine here at Stamford Bridge, and with Sam and Dan, who have made their way in from arrivals. Boys, let's get straight into it. We've been asking some contributors, some Chelsea content creators, people that we absolutely love the content of, and fans outside around Stamford Bridge today, what player they're looking forward to seeing next season. Now, we've got a little VT that we'll show you in a while of some of the answers that we've got. Firstly, what player are you looking forward to seeing next season, and why?
I am looking forward to seeing Enzo. I think he's been really impressive since he came in. Bedded in very well. He puts it about. He's creative on the ball. He's brave on the ball, and I think being able to adjust to the Premier League like he has means that next season I think he'll really kick on.
Love that. And you, Sam?
I was actually going to say Enzo as well, but I said him earlier, so I'm going to go with someone that's not here yet, but next season he will be, and that is Levi Colwill. I think he's going to be an incredible player for Chelsea. He's proven this season that he can play in the Premier League, he can play in a very demanding system that they play at in Brighton. And you know, it's different when a homegrown player comes through and he's playing for the club that you know where he started. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him at Chelsea.
A few of the takeaways as well, the boys were saying, one of them was that we all know that we need to score more goals. That is a thing. With Levi Colwill, because of what he brings, he's similar to some of the players we've got here in terms of comfortable on the ball, wants to play out from the back. Does that aid to that in a weird way?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, the type of football that we play at Chelsea, you know, you want to keep the ball, you want to create chances, and some of the highlights that I've seen from him this season when I haven't watched the full 90s is he is not afraid to hold the ball until it's time to play. Even a game against City, the goal that Enciso scored, it started at Colwill. So seeing things like that is really exciting because he's really young, he's got a lot to learn as well, but the fact that he's learning at such a fast pace is exciting.
Similar sort of question for Enzo, really, because he's a creative player. We've seen him get on the ball and start to sort of dictate play. This Chelsea team still feels very much like someone in the middle, as sort of a pivot, someone that's going to create things. You build the team around someone like an Enzo, and again, that will come from the fact that his creativity will lead to scoring more goals.
Yeah, I mean, we have so much of the ball in general in games, you know, 60-odd% possession, sometimes more, and he is a big part of it. He, you know, goes and collects the ball and he drops it off, and he sees the ball so much that sometimes you just need to put someone next to him and he'll be able to express himself even more. We've seen some of the assists he's had and the key passes, and you know, we've been guilty of not scoring much, but there have been loads of opportunities. You know, how many games have we watched, you know, us miss opportunities that we should have scored, and because of that we would definitely have far more assists, and Enzo would have far more key passes and contributions to goals and stuff like that. So yeah, I think what we do need, like the boys said, is a proven goal scorer. Not hard, not easy to come by, not cheap as well. It's difficult, you know. That's literally the part of the game that wins games. But if you get that right, then everyone around him will begin to shine. I think Enzo would shine. I think Cole will shine. I think everybody around him will shine. As soon as you got the shark, the fox in the box that can just do the final end bit, everyone else shines.
I want to ask you as well, both of you, about, obviously we've seen a lot of players in the PL2 team and the 18s team step up. Lewis Hall's a prime example of that, stepping into the first team, looking more than comfortable, holding his own as a Premier League footballer already. There's a lot of players that might potentially go out on loan next year, or could even lend themselves to being a part of the first team squad. You're looking at players like Mason Burstow, scored some great goals in the PL2 team, Leo Castledine, Charlie Webster as well. So many players that could do that. You look at someone like Levi Colwill, who's gone away, played at Huddersfield last season, stepped up into the Premier League, done it this year. Conor Gallagher had a similar loan spell as well. Ruben's done it, Mason's done it as well. Do you think perhaps it's keen to look at players from afar next season more than ever, because we are starting a new build as such?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've seen it this season. Some of the players on loan have been incredible at their respective clubs, and that's what gets you excited, knowing that they're coming into Chelsea and they're going to add the experiences that they've learned and add it to this Chelsea squad. And like we said, you know, the squad is so young. Like, I think the squad that we put out last week was the youngest squad we've ever put out in the Premier League. So the fact that that is the case, and we've got other youngsters in other teams, we need them to all come in, and with their experience, and it will add to each other.
I completely agree, and just carrying on from that point, Dan, because this is a football club that not only develops younger talent, but produces younger talent as well. And whether it's here or whether it's somewhere else that you're going to go on and have a great career, being a part of the Chelsea Academy is a big thing. Players like Conor Gallagher, players like Levi Colwill, players like Mason Mount, Reece James, that have shown that path is there. Whoever the new coach comes in, to know you have that academy system not only on your doorstep, but ready to produce, that's got to be a positive to whoever comes in.
Well, 100%, you know, for me it's the best, probably the best academy in world football. The Premier League is littered with players that have come straight from Cobham. It seems to produce a player that's so well-rounded, so intelligent, literally don't really have any weaknesses. That they can, you know, control the ball, both feet, can turn, can hurt you. I'm not sure what they're doing at Cobham, but they're getting it right. And for a new manager to come in and know that you've got that, just in case, you know, there are injury problems or you can't get who you're looking for, and whatever it is, we know all the politics in football. To know that you can just, you know, go a couple more pitches deeper in Cobham, and you're probably going to have exactly what you need right there is a positive. But I do like experience mixed in. I think youth without the experience to guide it can be a little bit difficult. I think sometimes when we field a super young squad, you can see the kind of naivety in it, because youth is brave, it wants to be free, but it doesn't quite have the experience and the know-how how to navigate certain games and leagues, and you know, hence why every time we've done very well in one seasons, we've had a good mix. Older players, and I'm not sure what the average age is, but ours is really young at the moment.
I completely agree. And just one more thing as well, I want to mention Alfie Gilchrist, who was in the squad on Thursday night away at Manchester United, a PL2 captain for the second half of the season since Bashir Humphreys, another player who's gone out on to paddleball. And Chelsea got so many players that can come in and play a part next season. We're going to hear some more names in a second from people that think that there are players coming in, but like Dan said, it's important to get that balance right. Players like Thiago Silva are very much going to be leaned upon, players that have been there and done it and have that experience to bring them on. I suppose more than anything, that's probably as important as being a first team member next year, being the role model that we see from a Thiago Silva every week to help that younger squad transition into what we're gonna see Chelsea Football Club as in the future.
Yeah, experience is everything, and I find it so interesting because the young players that we're talking about, like Mason Mount and Reece James, for example, they're still pretty young, but they've got a lot of experience. You know, they've been in cup finals, they've been in those grueling games where you need to get results. You know, I remember that game against Wolves a few years back when we needed a result to get Champions League football, and Mason stepped up. So you need those players that have been in those spaces to talk to the youngsters and say, you know what, even in a season that has been filled with so many ups and downs, there's always another side. You know what I mean? This isn't the first time that Chelsea has had a low season, but what we always get right is the bounce back, and they need those experienced players to tell them that.
Absolutely right. So let's have a little look then at some of the fans and our brilliant Chelsea content creators, people that are doing great work for the football club and around the football club, see who they think is going to be a big deal next season in blue.
My player to watch next season is Levi Colwill. I think he's been unbelievable during his loan time at Brighton. He's shown that he can be an incredible centre-half who can also play on the left. He's great on the ball in 1v1 situations and also aerially. So yeah, a special young player that I think we're still yet to see the best from.
For us, it's Wesley Fofana, and the reason is that I think he can replace Thiago Silva as a good defender in the future years for Chelsea. and he has a good strength and ability to defend, I think.
Yeah, I think I want to see the player is Madueke. He is really talented, and he can score, I think, maybe next season. Yeah, that's my reason, I think.
And for her, I will present her, and her choice is Miss Mount. She loves him very mostly, but although Miss Mount's future is not is depending, but she loves him very much.
Yes, I really pick Miss Mount, and yes, but his future is not yet. It is not decided yet. So I really expect Miss Mount can be in Chelsea in future. Thank you.
I'm most excited about Mikhailo Modric and Romelu Lukaku as well. Wondering if he might be coming back and stay as well with us.
Hi, my player to watch out for next season is Noni Madueke. Despite a disappointing overall season for Chelsea, I feel like whenever he's been on the pitch, he's been really bright and injected a spark into that Chelsea attack. He just glides past players with ease, takes them on 1v1. Super, super exciting, and I think once he starts adding goal contributions to that, he's going to be one of the best players next season.
I think it's definitely got to be Nkunku. Coming over from the Bundesliga, he's got the golden boot this year, despite being out for 3 months with injury. And I think this season Chelsea's lacked their finishing skills, and I think that Nkunku would be one to help.
I've got a bit of an odd one. Ethan Ampadu. So the man's been on loan, and he has his chance to shine now. We're kind of missing out on the defensive mid position, which he's been doing really well for Wales and for his team on loan. So I feel like he should be given a chance. I hope he does get a chance, and he'll be really a good partner for Enzo.
Noni Madueke, I believe, will thrive at Chelsea next season. With the right manager, given the opportunity, he has what it takes to be a very important player for our squad. He's skilled, he's technically gifted, he's quick, he takes on players, he's not afraid to take a shot and take responsibility for that. And I believe that he has been denied game time by both Potter and Frank, but despite that, he's kept his head cool.
Hey fellow Blues, my player to watch for next season is our classy central midfielder, Enzo Fernandez. He's already shown that he's hit the ground running. He's a leader amongst our young talented squad. He's willing to get himself involved defensively. He has incredible passing range and vision, and I can't wait to see what he can do following a full off-season. Up to Chelsea.
The player I think we should watch out for next season is definitely Levi Colwill. I've been so impressed with every single aspect of his game. In every single game that he's played for Brighton, Roberto De Zerbi thinks so highly of them, and I think he wants to keep him, but I'm adamant he is going to be such a huge part of this squad, and I'm so excited to watch him in our team next season. And a little shout out for Mikhailo Modric as well.
Quite a few creative shouts in there as well. The Ethan Ampadu shout, I absolutely love.
I like that one. I liked it. I was not thinking about that at all. And then as he explained it, I was like, actually, that's making a lot of sense.
It's good shot. 2 years in Italy as well, playing in Serie A. You're going to learn a lot from the experience. Yeah. Boys, let's come on to shoot, pass, clear. Then we do this every single week. 3 scenarios. One that you would shoot on, so the scenario you think is most likely to happen. One that you would pass on, something you think might happen, might not happen. And you would clear something that you definitely think won't happen today. So these are the 3 scenarios that we've got to pick from this afternoon. Well, I say we, the boys have got to pick from. So, boys, you've got Chelsea player to score under the age of 25. You've got a Chelsea clean sheet, or Chelsea to score the final goal of the season at Stamford Bridge. Who wants to go first on a shoot?
I'll go an under 25 Chelsea player to score.
Okay.
Just because of our last game and it was the youngest lineup that we've had in the Premier League, I think that we're going to have a similar. Well, we do have a similar lineup in that sense. So yeah, I think that's the shoot.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to go pass on us to score a final goal at Stamford Bridge.
Okay. So we're going to clear the other one. We're going to clear the other one, yeah?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
clean sheet. Let's do it.
Clean sheet. Clear a clean sheet. Okay. I think Newcastle are.
They're really good.
They're a good side.
Let's be honest.
They're good goal scorers, and let's be fair as well. They're in good voice already. Obviously, they're celebrating. They're playing Champions League football next year. I can see a guy over there, right behind the camera. You're not be able to see this, but there's a guy with a Miguel Almiron shirt on, and it's just Miguel Almiron's face about 50 times. He's got a Paraguay flag on the half. They are loving themselves today. Rightly so. They've had a good season. They deserve that, right? It's I suppose up to us to make sure that we finish the season the best way that we can possibly do so, by winning today and giving the players and Frank Lampard a send-off for the summer, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's look, there's not much to play for today, but if we can ruin some Newcastle fans' days, and why not? You know, I'm all for it.
I'm for it.
we want to end it on a high. We want to go into summer kind of with a good taste in our mouth and with a good feeling and feeling almost a little bit, you know, optimistic about pre-season and wanting to see how we get on in America and wanting to see, you know, our developments and then ready for the new season. So if we can do that, and you know, it's a lovely day out there. We don't want them to travel down all the way from Newcastle, have a lovely day out, get 3 points at the bridge and then go back up.
Yeah, it's a bank holiday weekend as well. Like, the travel's hard enough, so let's make it a little bit harder. But Sam, just on that, because it's obviously well reported that the new manager, whoever that may be, is probably not far off being announced or is probably not far off being confirmed. Again, there is no confirmation as of yet. We've all read who we think is the main link and etc. But today is the last opportunity for this group of players to show what they're capable of for whoever will be coming in. We've had this conversation 3 or 4 times in the past 6 weeks, but today really is the final opportunity for them to say, here we are, it's my shirt to take off, and whoever the new boss is, I want to be a part of your plans, right?
Yeah, the eyes are going to be on them, and obviously also for the current management that are in as well. Like, this is the last time for you to tell them, show them, you know, the last few notes that they're going to be giving to that new manager, because that's what it's about. You know, there's going to be coaches. If the new manager's going to be here, we don't know if he is. There's going to be coaches around. I think this is probably the busiest it's been this season. Obviously, the final game and the weather's amazing, but it's a lot, and there's a lot of players that, you know, have something to prove. They're young as well, so they need to just prove why they should be playing for this team, and we know where we want to be in the future, so we've got to prove that today.
Boys, as you're going to hear, it's starting to get a little bit louder inside Stamford Bridge, so let's do the trivia then. This is a question that we need your help with. If you're watching at home, wherever you're watching in the world, let us know the answer to this question, because we never ever get it right. So, boys, we have relegated 2 teams on the final day of a Premier League season. Can you name them? Wow, 2 teams relegated on the final day of the Premier League season. I'm trying to think of emphatic Chelsea wins on the final day. The first one that jumps to mind is that Wigan game. But I don't know if we relegated them or not.
I feel like they were already done. They were already done by then, weren't they?
All right, again, we don't have to answer now, thankfully.
That's a tough one, though.
Yeah, it's a tough one. We don't have to answer now, thankfully. You can answer, you can help us out a little bit, and also you can get involved today wherever you are in the world. Trivago, wherever you go, we'll celebrate in Chelsea all across the globe, sending your selfies, sending your messages, using the hashtag wherever you go. Do so, get us involved, and right now let's hand over to the gantry, because the boys are out, it's time for the warm-up.
Here on Newcastle United this afternoon. Number 18, number 29, Mark Leicester. Number 3 is Paul Collins. Number 9, Havertz. Number 12, Jamal Lewis. Number 23, Julian Murphy. Number 30, Harrison Ashby. Number 33, Dan Burn. And finally, number 81, Lewis Wiley. Okay, Stamford Bridge, just make some noise. We got
Wherever we go, Trivago is with us, and now they bring us to Stamford Bridge to follow the warm-up of the Blues for our match against Newcastle United.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in congratulating the incredible Chelsea FC women winning another WSL title yesterday, making it 4 in a row. And an amazing cup and league double once again. An amazing achievement. Congratulations once again to our all-confident Chelsea women. This game, there's no place to go wrong. We go to the highest of highs and lowest of lows. We go across the globe. We go for the sights and for the top of fights. When you lose or draw, we go for the same. Because we go for the love of the game. Where do you go? Chicago. Non-stop protection. 72-hour anti-post-motion tested to
Some atmosphere, Sam.
Yeah, they're up for it. You can tell they've had an amazing season. The players have really bought into the Eddie Howe system, and now they're celebrating.
They're a great noise, to be fair. Newcastle fans notoriously travel very well. Their players have had a fantastic season, qualified for the Champions League, like you mentioned. Let's have a little chat about their warm-up, because Alexander Isak, genuinely, and we've seen a lot of players do little warm-up drills here at Stamford Bridge over the season. That is the sharpest I've ever seen a finisher. That is outrageous.
Yeah, you could tell he's confident as well. You know, what Eddie Howe's done at Newcastle has been incredible. They've had strikers that have come into battle for the position, but they've done really well. So yeah, man, it's incredible.
He's just stuck free in the top corner off a little pass and move, so he's absolutely smashed it.
He's on it.
You can hear as well Chelsea fans starting to get in a little bit of voice himself. You might not be able to hear it because we are very close to the away end, but Chelsea fans showing their appreciation because the Player of the Year awards are going on at the side of the pitch at the moment with our brilliant Lee Parker. If you can even hear me at all, that is, of course. Lewis Hall is Young Player of the Season, Sam. Deservedly so, right?
What a player, you know. He's come into the team at a tough time, and he's played like he has no care in the world. You know, he's played with so much energy, so much, you know, freedom in a position that is not as natural to him. But like Dan said earlier, a lot of these youngsters, they can play in multiple positions and make them his own, and he's been incredible for Chelsea this season.
And also a really bright future, because when you come through at Cobham, you're produced as a footballer, aren't you, rather than a position specific, exactly. And he offers that versatility.
Yeah, exactly. When he's got into the final third at some points of the season, he should definitely have more assists than he has right now. I've saw a compilation of how many balls that he put on the plate for some players. So he's done his job, and it's been incredible to see.
You can hear the reaction. Conor Gallagher wins goal of the season for his strike against Crystal Palace at the start of October. Really good goal against the team. Obviously, Conor's got an affiliation with having been on loan there.
Yeah, that was an amazing goal. It epitomises Conor, you know, putting 100% work in, you know, get that goal at the time that he got it as well. It was a great goal. Really, really good goal. And Conor's had a brilliant last 4 weeks as well, hasn't he? Conor's obviously Chelsea born and bred, loves Frank Lampard. He was his idol growing up, and I think he's thrived under Frank as well as Conor. Yeah, you know, he's one of those players that he will always give 100%, no matter what the result or what's going on in the team. He's going to give 100%, and he's been that player. He's been that shining light at times where things have looked a bit bleak, but yeah, he's been great. And Chelsea's player of the season is Thiago Silva, which is no surprise really, is it? Because he's been fantastic on a weekly basis. What Thiago does for this football club not only brings that class and that elegance that we've had over the years as centre-half, but he brings together, we could just see the awards being handed out here. What Thiago also brings is that experience that when younger players come in the dressing room, like we were speaking earlier, he loves the club, he means a lot to this fan base, and deservedly so player of the season. Yeah, you would have never expected for him to have the impact that he did at Chelsea when he came in, but it's a testament to the player, the mindset, you know, the physicality, the strength that he has. He's been such an incredible player for Chelsea, such a leader, and a player that has consistently performed at the top levels. He deserves it because he's been that player that's been consistent over a season that we've said, you know, has been quite difficult, and hopefully we see him on the pitch again next season. Very, very lucky to have a Thiago Silva at this football club. Thiago Silva obviously going to be a huge part of whoever the new ownership is. The fact that he's playing today as well gets a nice little send-off and an even additional sort of, not a send-off, but you know, for the summer he can go and rest and enjoy himself. Although nobody's going to be satisfied with the job that anybody's done this season because of where we are in the league and the standards we set, I think he's been fantastic. Yeah, he's just an incredible player. He adds that calm, like when he's in the lineup, you know that there's going to be a level of leadership, a level of consistency, especially in the defending as well. It's just been beautiful to see. Absolutely right. Thiago Silva, Player of the Year, Conor Gallagher's Goal of the Season, and Lewis Hall, Young Player of the Year here at Stamford Bridge this afternoon. Right then, Chelsea versus Newcastle, match day live, final game of the season at Stamford Bridge. Kickoff coming your way very, very soon, but first, let's hear from Frank Lampard.
Really delighted for Raheem to get his 2 goals last weekend against Forest. At half-time I said to the players we needed to up the levels, and sometimes as a coach you rely on, you know, some experienced players. Raheem's history of being able to perform at that level and score goals, and it obviously really helps us, and if it helps him individually for himself to give him confidence going into this last stretch of the season, then obviously that's a big plus because he's a high-level player, and it was good to see him, especially his second goal in the game, is the quality and the clinical nature of it. I'm pleased with the fact that we've managed to score more frequently. It's something, you know, that we have to do. I mean, it's something that as a club and team that we want to be. We understand it's been a difficult season, but it also can help. It can erode confidence when you're not scoring so freely. So I think to score 5 goals in 2 games has been a good thing for us, but we do understand now we go to really tough opponents in the last 3 games, so we have to get our whole game right. and we also have to have that belief that we can score goals and really compete in these games. I was pleased with Lewis Hall last week against Forest. It's not easy for younger players to come into a team in what's difficult situations, and I know Lewis has played before in the first team a few times and played to good effect. I think he's a really, really good player. With that, every minute of experience he has in the first team will help him at this moment. So I thought he had a pretty good game. Always things that he can improve because he's a young player, but it was great experience for him, and he'll be getting more minutes at the end of the season. I think it's really important as a club that we always try and follow on from the great work that's done in the academy here at Chelsea over the years. People like Neil Bath and Jim Fraser have really run that ship, and we've seen the players that have come into the team in my first time here with Mason Mounts and Tammy Abrahams, and even when players move on from this club, I think you always have a link because they come through at Chelsea. It's a big part of what we are, but we of course want them to stay, help the team, and when people like Lewis Hall come in, and there's a lot of time invested in the academy, they have a real connection with the club. It's a great deal for us, and you can see there are a few more of those young players in our squad that have come through the academy and have a big feeling for the club, so that's great.
City on Sunday, Frank, you spoke about indoors there, about how the possibility of City lifting the title shouldn't be on our players' minds. We have to have our own motivation going there on Sunday, don't we?
On Sunday, our motivation for City should be all about ourselves. City are obviously a great team on the verge of winning the league title, but for us, I think it should be about how the pride that we show in our performance. I expect to see that in terms of performance. And then an understanding of what it takes to win those titles. City are lifting it this year, and fair play, they've had a few great seasons in terms of their consistency levels, but also we've had that at our club in recent history. We know that in terms of being able to win leagues and Champions Leagues and trophies. So for the players, I think, to go up against that team and understand why they are so good and have their aspirations to be as good as we want to be again, and I expect to see that in their performance on Sunday.
Welcome back to the Stamford Bridge gantry. You'll have noticed that we've been joined up here as well by Savage Dan. A bit cooler than it is down at pitch side, I'm sure. A glorious day in West London, as we've already said, and the fans are in fine voice as well. As Joe mentioned, we've just seen 3 end-of-season awards handed out. Lewis Hall for Academy Player of the Season, Conor Gallagher, Goal of the Season for that stunning strike against Crystal Palace, and of course Thiago Silva for Player of the Season. Zach mentioned it earlier, how effervescent the Brazilian is, Dan. Can you sum up this season and also the influence that he tends to have on those players around him?
I remember watching a film, Benjamin Button. Has everyone seen it? And I was sure it was a fictional movie, but I think we're seeing him here in the flesh. He's evergreen. He seems to be getting better and better. I can't even see any wrinkles in his skin. You know, honestly, I've never seen anything like it. A 38-year-old, is he 38?
Yes.
Allegedly 38 years old, as fit as a fiddle, obviously lives the life. Just what a defender. I remember before he came to Chelsea, and I always would hear about Thiago Silva being mentioned in, the top defenders in the world, and I don't think I ever quite believed it, because playing in League One, you're not going to get the same challenge that you're going to get in the Premier League. And he's come here and he has made it seem as easy as anything. He really has. He's, by far and away our player of the season, if you ask me. Everything is red just that split second before it happens, he can just immediately detect danger. Just what a player, honestly. We've got to keep him for as long as he's willing to play football.
They showed a brief little montage here in the stadium on the big screens of all of the interceptions and all of the goal line clearances that he made as well. There's that one, of course, against Arsenal, right underneath the crossbar. But it's not just that, is it? It's his vision, it's his leadership, his range of passing as well on the pitch. Second to none.
Just the decisions he makes are, you know, but you'll only see a few of those last-ditch challenges because everything else he's got sorted long before it even looks like a threat. You know, the paciest and most dangerous of strikers, I've seen him be left one-on-one with them and deal with them very handily. On the ball, he near enough starts our attacks. He's on the ball so much. His weight and choice of pass is excellent. I just think he is the model centre-back. Honestly, everyone made a huge song, a fuss about Van Dijk. I think he's every bit as good.
And a word as well, Zach, for Lewis Hall, Academy Player of the Season. I know we've seen a lot of him